Hi, Mexi. Hello, Erin Dudley. Hi, Sandra. Um, so yeah, so I think we'll get into it because I've got a few hours today. We'll get into it. Before we get into Paul, before we get into you, you are our star guest today, obviously. So you're probably more important than Matt today, actually. So, but before we go to you as a star of the show, let's address something, Matt. MatheauLMoore, you got in touch with me a couple of days back, all excited, and we're like, you'll never guess what the hell has just happened. And you just got off a phone call with a certain woman. So, do you want to tell? I have spoken to some people about it and told them, but do you want to address it and tell everybody what happened to you, I believe, on Thursday of this week?
Um, I'm just gonna assume most of you know my story, by now.
Yeah.
I receive text messaging because I'm fairly public. I'm out there in the public, and I get weird text messages all the time. I've kind of I learned to like vet them. I can kind of tell a lot of them are just like weirdos that just want to know weird things, and and then other ones are kind of like, okay, well, this one wasn't bad. She's it was like a month ago, maybe more. Is this Matt Moore? I'm like, who wants to know? I mean, what do you owe me money? And that usually chases them away. you but this one, a month later, she got back and she could tell the honesty. She's like, I'm looking to talk to Matthew Moore. If this is Matthew Moore, and I'm like, all right, well, what is this about? And she texts back and she said, well, it's about Steve. And I'm like, Steve, I have an uncle Steve. I immediately thought I had another sick relative. Someone was just awful, all the woof goes through your head.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve who? And she comes back, she's like, Grubbs. And I'm like, Steve Grubbs. now I'm totally paranoid, I'm like height alert. I think the world's after me, man. All
It's the
time.
FBI again.
Yeah, and they're so I'm fine. I'm like, all right, you got me, lady. Can we do this text wise? She's like, no, I really need to talk to you on the phone. I said, all right, well, give me your phone number. I called her, and I immediately thought she was going to start. We watch your alternate corner every week, and we're going to bring a lawsuit against you or the FBI. We're investigating something.
Right.
Right? Because
Yep.
Dylan and I get on the show every week and just rip and tear, man.
Hammer him.
I say,
hammer him.
I hammer him. It was his ex-wife. That was
Wow.
his last. It was their last day of divorce court. They were just in divorce court, and I guess, it was his wife or Steven Grubbs, the lead detective in my case, his now ex-wife, and we had a great conversation. We talked for like an hour. I mean, I can tell she's not lying. She's a victim of this man. She's like, I wanted to talk to someone who'd been treated like Steven is. She calls him Steven. I'll call him Grubbs. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And she's like, I wanted to meet someone else and talk to someone else that has been treated so poorly by Grubbs. So we just talked for an hour.
Wow.
Lawsuit information. There's a lot of like, she didn't like go into it, but she just wanted to reach out to me and talk to me, and it was a special conversation. It was really nice to get to feel that kind of intimacy with someone that Steve Grubbs knew. He's not a nice guy, as you can imagine. I mean, being a cop's wife, I guess, is just your odds of being slapped around are way up there, and they're
So
abusive.
she said he got physical with her?
No, I am not going to say that.
See, you gotta watch where you're going with that, boy.
I'm just saying, cops.
You can't just say
out there. Cops.
You can't do that. You can't do that shit,
man. I'm gonna roll the dice, man.
He's a
what?
what?
50-50? I hear it's like 50-50 whether a cop smacks his fucking old lady around. You know what I mean?
It's not 50-50. It's more like 75-20.
It's like playing black or red on the fucking roulette wheel, man. I mean, come on. Cops are they're jerks to their wives. Well, she didn't say anything like that, but
No.
He's a very, very this is the thing that got me. If you go back and look I have all the text messages between Emily and I keep telling everybody this. I have a copy. The cops have a copy. My attorney have a copy. You want a copy? I'll make a copy. There's like 500 pages. I never once called my wife a fucking cunt. I'll tell you that. And I guess that's Grubbs' favorite term to use when he talks to his wife text-wise. You look at his texts and their texts together. You have to read Emily's texts between us. We didn't argue. One day I said to her, "Hey Emily, you're being shallow. You're in the intellect shallow." It was wrong. I shouldn't have said it. But that's as harsh as I got in the whole. That they had my texting. One day I was just, and I'm telling you, with Emily, it was like you had to like strategize. One day being kind of like mean to her like that would get her to shut up. Other days, if you didn't pay attention to her, she would stop bitching. You know, you learn to deal with your wife's bitching. And it wasn't even like bitching. I mean, comparatively speaking to like this Grubbs and his wife's texting, I guess was horrible. When you get to the fuck you cunt, you're a fucking cunt. That's where else are you gonna go, right? I mean,
did you see any of that?
Her texting? No, but
or is this all hearsay?
She just told me. She just talked to me yesterday. What are you, a fucking lawyer now?
Yeah, of course.
She said she would be willing to show me those for my own. I mean, I don't want to like. I mean, don't want to go too far into something. And he has a daughter. I hope Grubbs is watching. Your fucking daughter. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, good luck, buddy. I mean, your family's turning on you because you're a fucking asshole.
Well, that's true.
Grubbs.